Hi, welcome back to the episode of Cooking with a Gist. Last show we had jollof rice cooked here and plantains. Today we're going to be cooking egusi soup. Egusi soup is usually cooked with any kinds of leafy vegetables such as spinach and other variation of leafy vegetables. Egusi is traditional African vegetable soup, usually made in Nigeria, I believe. You cook egusi, and I'm about to get into what that means. You cook it with spinach or any salty type of vegetable available, and bam, you get your vegetable soup ready. With egusi soup, you can enjoy nearly all traditional African bowl-like food, such as eba, amala, semo, and pounded yam. If you're foreign to all these names that I mentioned, then you need to talk to an African. All right, so I'm trying to blend this Maggi seasoning. On a good day, I should be able to just sprinkle it and it will go straight into my cooking pot. But for now, this is my strategy. All right, so egusi soup. Where do we start from? Let's light up our stove and get that heat warmed up. And then, once this cooking pot dry out, I'm gonna go ahead and pour my palm oil. This is palm oil. You can pick this up in African market store. There are great African market stores around. There's one on 3rd Avenue. Anyway, so egusi soup. Our cooking pot is warming up. Once it's warmed up, I'll pour palm oil and I will let this palm oil fry. In the meantime, I need to prepare my egusi. This is egusi. Egusi is another word for egusi is melon. So let's pause a little bit and talk about what that is. You know onion dew melon? Yeah. The seeds inside onion dew is these seeds are extracted, washed, cleaned, and dried. And the seeds, they're peeled off, and you extract the seeds, and you blend them, and you get egusi. Now, I don't think anyone is interested in doing that with melons around here. So, because I'm very adventurous and I love to experiment, if I do not have egusi anywhere available in the United States, I've thought about experimenting with sunflower seeds or any available seeds for that matter. But in this case, this is egusi. It can be picked up in African market store. So where do we start? You pour your egusi in a little bowl. It's usually dry like this. It's blended. And then what you need on it is hot water to mix it up. So I'm gonna pour my hot water just a little bit. I don't want it to be watery. I want it to give me that puree feel. So I'm gonna mix it up. I'm mixing it up, making sure all the eating balls are captured with my spoons and melted with the hot water. So once it's done, this is what it should look like. Cool. The pot is dry and we're ready for palm oil. If your palm oil is not, because palm oil tend to slip a little bit. So if your palm oil were to slip and not this, if your palm oil were to slip, you put it in hot water and you run it and then it should wake up. For now, this is a week, so we're just gonna go ahead and pour it in the cooking pot. Just a little bit, depending on how much oil you're comfortable consuming. Because I've done this several times, I can, for the most part, gauge the content, the amount of oil that I need. In your case, it will be hard to measure how much you should use, because again, it depends on how much melon or vegetable you're using. So, but in any case, play with it, try it, and see what it looks like. So once the oil is frying, I'm gonna prepare my onions. Again, my style, with heavy cooking, I love to have my flavor. I love to get my flavor going. Flavor is the beginning of everything for me. So, and how do I get that? I get that by little chopped up onions, meat with oil. It's getting fried. So I'm beginning to get the chemistry of whatever is coming out of that oil, frying with my onion, and the result is nice flavor. So spice girl I am, so I'm gonna begin to add my spice. Again, there are no rules as into what spice you had. When we cook the type of soup that you ought to be very careful in adding one type of spice or another, I will tell you, this and the shows that we've had, you can liberally apply any spice that you prefer. So I'm gonna get my spice going. Everything in moderation, just a little bit. Let it sizzle for me. And I need some turmeric. All right, things are looking good. What I need to do now is to start dishing my melon into the oil. You're getting that sizzling effect. You can pour everything in. You have some leftover that you can't possibly get rid of unless you add some water, so I'm going to add some water. And you just collect all the remaining melons. Not to say you have to, but I don't want to waste a thing. So just rinse it in. And this is the time that I stir. So my melon or egusi is now in the oil, and I'm stirring them together. I can see that I need more water, so I'm going to add more water, because even though I want my melon to go into the oil and start getting fried, I do not want it to fry dry. I want it to fry cook versus fry dry. So I'm going to stir more. Add more water until I'm comfortable with the texture.